Welcome everyone. Today we're diving into the intriguing chain of events involving a high-profile communication mishap in national security.
Yeah, it's quite a stirring story. So much to unpack here, right?
Absolutely, it's like an accidental leak in a world where every bit of info matters lots. Mike Waltz ended up taking full responsibility for a leaked signal chat that had some serious ramifications.
So essentially, we've got Waltz basically owning up to a technical slip-up, but also pivoting the focus to, the administration's successes.
Right, exactly. He didn't just apologize, he also emphasized that the real story is in the successes, like the operation against the Houthi rebels in Yemen, neutralizing key leaders and missile caches.
Yeah, and it's kind of ironic, right? The leak spilled behind-the-scenes chatter that wasn't meant for the public, while at the same time it highlighted major wins that would otherwise go unnoticed.
Oh, definitely. And get this, the chat came to light via The Atlantic, a publication that's, well, not exactly a cheerleader for President Trump.
Yep, that's an interesting twist. It raises eyebrows over how a vocal critic managed to get sensitive info. Was it a smart move or maybe even intentional?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Waltz suggested that it might have been an accidental mix-up, a contact error, but he didn't rule out the possibility of internal foul play.
True. And he openly criticized the publication for its past behavior, highlighting, for instance, a history of publishing misinformation about the president and even making unfounded claims about sensitive topics like Gold Star families.
Exactly. He threw some pretty strong words about that, questioning how someone with a track record of smearing the administration got access to these chats.
Yeah, I got that. But while addressing the leak, he also spotlighted many achievements, right? I mean, aside from the Yemen operation, there were multiple wins like freeing hostages, brokering a ceasefire in the Black Sea, and even Panama's decision to expel Chinese influence from its canal.
Yes, it's like, on one hand, the leak is a major embarrassment, but on the other hand, it's a strange side effect of a series of successful operations that the media tends to ignore.
That's a fair point. It seems that Waltz is frustrated with how the media chooses sensationalism over actual achievements. Would you say his critique of the media was a bit too harsh?
Well, I mean, look, he did say some strong things. He accused outlets like The Atlantic of playing a predictable game, ignoring significant successes while harping on minor technical glitches.
Yeah, he was pretty direct. But here's a thought. Might his critique be a bit self-serving? I mean, focusing solely on his successes could divert attention from that massive security slip-up. Would you not agree?
That's a valid challenge. Indeed. Waltz seems to have struck a balance by acknowledging the error and then steering the narrative toward national security wins and the administration's rapid pace, what he calls Trump speed.
I see your point. Trump speed really paints a picture. Like, man, they're moving at a breakneck pace, executing so much on multiple fronts. Yet, one might wonder if that urgency sometimes leads to these kinds of mishaps.
Exactly. It's like if you're sprinting, sometimes you might trip, but the race continues. Waltz stressed how the administration is always in motion, which helps them secure international agreements, boost military readiness, and make headway in foreign policy.
Right on point. And what about the technological aspect? I mean, using Signal for secure messaging is a double-edged sword. On one side, it's encrypted and fast. On the other, it might still leak because of human error.
Yeah, you're spot on. Waltz highlighted that while Signal is supposed to be secure, the reliance on digital communication in such a high-stakes arena creates risks. It's a bit like relying on texting when you really should be in a war room discussing matters face-to-face, you know?
Exactly. It really shows that even for top officials, technology isn't infallible. Do you think tighter controls or improved IT infrastructure could finally solve these issues?
I think so, yes. Waltz pointed to the need for better IT infrastructure and tighter security protocols, an ongoing effort to prevent such embarrassing incidents moving forward. It's a pressure cooker situation where the stakes are enormous.
Absolutely. And in all this, Waltz maintained that the primary agenda is always national security. He insisted that despite the leak, the focus should remain on protecting the country and advancing key policies.
Exactly. It's a clear signal that while mistakes can happen, The mission, upholding the nation's safety and executing effective policies, prevails.
Right. One thing that struck me is his unwavering support for President Trump. Despite the controversy, he pushed back hard against the media narratives that try to overshadow these accomplishments.
Yes, he emphasized that the administration's achievements in international affairs and security matters should speak for themselves, regardless of what the press highlights.
True that. So what's our takeaway from this? Is it about accountability, or is it mainly about the relentless pace of political operations in the digital age?
I'd say it's a bit of both. There's an acceptance of responsibility for the error, which shows accountability, but also an urgent reminder that in high-speed political environments, technical oversights can occur, and the real focus remains on securing tangible achievements.
Yep, makes sense. And don't you think it also highlights the never-ending tug-of-war between transparent journalism and state secrecy?
Absolutely. Waltz's barrage at the media reveals the frustration with outlets that, from his perspective, don't give credit where it's due. It's a classic clash, objective reporting versus, well, a biased narrative.
A tough but real battle. Given all that, one must wonder how this incident will shape future communication protocols in such high-stakes scenarios.
For sure, it really underscores the need for tighter controls, enhanced IT security, and maybe even a rethink of how, well, sensitive information is managed in the digital age.
Definitely food for thought. In wrapping up, while Mike Waltz took full responsibility, he made it clear that this misstep, albeit embarrassing, won't derail a series of crucial national security successes.
Exactly. The message is loud and clear. The nation's security mission remains paramount, and while technology might sometimes betray us, the drive to protect and advance our policies will forge onward.
Right on, absolutely. Well, that was an engaging dive into the complexities behind a seemingly simple leak. There's so much more to explore about our modern communication challenges and political accountability.
Indeed, it's a reminder that in our fast-paced world, even a small mistake can cast a long shadow, but it can never overshadow the greater good achieved on so many fronts.
Perfect wrap-up. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This conversation reminds us to always look beyond the headlines and see the broader context.
Absolutely. And here's to continuous improvement in both our IT systems and our understanding of the real drama behind political successes.
Catch you next time. Stay curious and keep questioning.